All right, today we are going to be doing tomato and scrambled eggs over some sourdough toast. This is going to be on page 2 of New York Times bestseller Leanne Brown's Good and Cheap: How to Eat Well on $4 a Day. So first, we've already toasted off some of our sourdough toast. That's going to help sop up all of this eggy tomato goodness. Great tip is to salt your eggs with about a half a teaspoon of salt per egg and let it sit at room temperature for about 10 minutes. That sort of allows the egg to break down and it gives you a much fluffier end product. So we're gonna go ahead and heat our pan to medium heat. And over here, we've got our basil. Now we wanna wait till just the end, chiffonade that and put it on top for a nice little garnish. You wanna wait because basil starts to release most of its flavor the second you cut it. So we're gonna save that to the very last second. So we'll go ahead and put about a half a tablespoon of butter in here. Give that a little swirl around. Now also, you could also add cheese to this if you'd like to. Parmesan, any type of melting cheese, mozzarella, cheddar. But I think this really stands up on its own. The toast, like I said, it just gives you a nice heartiness to it. All right, while it's still on medium, we're gonna go ahead and put our eggs in. We're gonna give that about a minute to set on the bottom. We don't want to move it around too much just yet. Now you can kind of see the bottom. It's starting to form little white edges. We're not quite there yet. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start going around the edge, loosen that up. Then we're gonna push up through the bottom. That's when you see it starting to come together. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the tomatoes in now. That's gonna also add a little bit of moisture to it. We've got this at about medium high right now. Everything's gonna happen very quickly. Now the rule for good scrambled eggs is you want to take them off just before they look done. My home ec teacher used to tell us if it looks done in the pan, it's going to be overdone on the plate. Now I like the tomatoes to come through very fresh and whole, but if you want something that's going to be a more homogeneous thing, you can go ahead and follow directions as they were listed in the book, which calls for cooking the tomatoes before you add in the eggs for about 5 to 7 minutes. But honestly, recipes are entirely open to interpretation. I'm gonna finish this with some fresh cracked black pepper. And to cut the basil, we're just gonna take the biggest leaves, put them on top in order. We're gonna sort of pinch them a little tightly, roll them up until we have a little cigar shape. Take our knife and do what we call a chiffonade. You don't want to bruise the basil. We want to make sure we're cutting straight through it. You see a lot of green on your board, that means you're cutting too rough or your knife is too dull. And just sort of give it another rough chop so you don't get long strings of basil in your mouth and your teeth while you're eating it. All right. And there we have it.